So it's time for this year's graduates to receive their brilliant blue blazers. And the blazers are symbolic of the commitment that you've made to the Storymaker Academy. Our first recipient is Essence Nesbitt. Come on over. And she joins us from Huntsville, Alabama. Essence is an art decorator and balloon stylist. Yes, such a thing exists. And designs by Essence, her company. And after long days, Essence would sometimes join our live calls while she was in the car. And of course, always being safe. Okay, very good. And she could tell a really powerful story with all her decoration and her company. So, Essence, thank you for stepping forward. I'd like to present to you your brilliant blue blazer. Wear it with confidence. Wear it when you tell your story, and wear it when you think about the Storymaker Academy. Okay, get a couple of shots of Essence. I met Lisa at a networking event, and she said, "Oh, okay, I'll be in touch with you." I'm going, "Sure, absolutely. I know that's going to happen." It did. No, it didn't. And you are a registered dietitian, a nutrition and wellness consultant, and owner of Transform Nutrition and Wellness Consulting. And Lisa would often join us over the 6-month period while she was running, or after a run, or while she was walking in the park, a part of her run club. I didn't know there was such a thing as a run club, as you can tell. And also when she was at home and she was on her treadmill, rigged up, treadmill, thing to ride on and everything. Very committed, so I appreciate that. So you have successfully, Lisa, completed the Storymaker Academy. I present to you your brilliant blue blazer. Wear it with confidence, wear it with pride. Take your photo. We wanted to have a conversation, a chat about how story plays out in your world, how you've used it, and it's about the Storymaker Academy, but it's also more than that, because I know there's been some revelation, there's been some transformation, and there's been some embracing of what we do here. So I'd just like to find out, initially, how do you incorporate storytelling in story?
It was an opportunity through Storymakers Academy to really think about my voice, think about the pieces of the stories that I wanted to tell, how to determine at which point you tell which story, and to really be authentic in my voice.
Because I think sometimes we don't realize, like, if we can't think of that big thing, that big moment, you think you don't have a story. And like Renika said, like, you were like, you know, you do this inventory, and when you first said that, that was very intimidating. But then reaching a point where it's like, okay, now which story? You know, going from not feeling like you have a story to feeling like, well, which story is it? Like, which story do I want to tell?
And Chavez, you have been in law enforcement a long time in leadership development. How can story help you and has helped you in what you do?
Well, Monica, thank you for this moment and just to be here today with everyone. The story making piece for me, I got to a point after 20-something years with state police. I've been around a lot of leaders within the department, and we traveled all over the place listening to various leaders speak. And I noticed the one common thing was everybody touched somebody through a story, right? And you and I had talked over many years of how I can get better. You know, I had the formal training, I had the public relations training with state police, being a commander of public relations. But the piece that I really was looking for to grow and develop in was having that confidence in delivering my speech, because I heard so many people talk and they were just smooth in their delivery. And what I learned in talking with you, and you know, when you're trying to grow and develop, you have to make that investment. And for me, I got to a point when you shared your vision about this academy, that this was my investment to make so that I can take my speech, my tone, my confidence in speaking to another level.
Up first is Lisa. Lisa, please come on up and welcome to the Storymaker Showcase stage and her talk, Don't Just Get Fit, Be Fit.
So I'm heading out on my run this sunny spring morning, and I'm having this conversation with myself, you know, the one you do when it's time to kick it into gear. and you realize that things have caught up with you and you need to start to get fit, right? Um, and so there was something a little bit different this morning because I'm 24 years old at the time. So high school and college, all those things are over, and I'm already married. So, when you're in your younger days, there's often something on the horizon to get in shape for, right? To get fit for. And so I'm kind of going through this realization in my mind that I don't want to get fit anymore because there's really nothing I can think of that's on the horizon. And I want to learn to be fit because I would often use running as a means to an end. I would often pick that up as something to lose a few pounds or get in shape. And I will not tell you that you have to run. I won't tell anyone in this room you have to run. But to me, it was an efficient form of exercise. I knew I could do it in 30 minutes. I didn't need any special equipment. All I needed was a pair of shoes. I could do it any time of day.
Please welcome to the stage, all the way from Huntsville, Alabama, Essence Nesbitt, and her talk, Life Art.
My daughter and I walked into the house. The first thing I noticed was that her Barbie house was no longer in front of the back door. The drawers were open. Everything was in disarray. The following days, there were a few men just kind of lurking around the neighborhood. So this is what led us to our journey of home ownership with Habitat for Humanity. Check your circle. Not just asking for help, you have to know who to ask for help, because if you're asking for help and not getting anywhere, that means it's time to reach out to some of the newer people, some of the people that you've met along the way.
This is amazing. So much growth, so much willingness to step on the stage. So I applaud you. I shouldn't have been surprised by the question, but I was. After all, it was a networking event. And by the time everyone else at the table had moved on, it was just me and this one person. And she was just so poised and stately. And I didn't know a lot about it, but I loved what I saw. And she said, "So, Monica, what is your story?" And I have to admit that it threw me for a loop because I was ready to give her the soundbite. Well, I work at the station, I do this, I do that, this is what I do. But sometimes, you ever run across someone, they kind of slow time? It was directed at me. And I'm going, I don't know how to answer the question. So I just kind of stood there, me, lost for words, because of the question. So what is your story? And as she got ready to leave, she really leaned in and she was speaking to my soul. And she said, "Monica, you have a powerful story to tell." And here is the biggest misconception and danger of storytelling. Is that we compare our stories. If our story isn't epic, if we don't go and I'll never be hungry again, we think it's not significant. We think it's not important. We don't want to share it. But the truth is, it is important. Or we just dismiss it. We have a lot of people in this room, I'm sure, kind of A+++ people. You do something great, and then it's on to the next thing. Never sit with it. Never encourage yourself. Never feel like I did a good thing. So we do these things. And I am so passionate about story and telling our true story that I want you all to figure out what is the story to tell. And we tell our story because we are the gatekeepers. It is our story to tell. We're the guardians. We are the ones who really need to step forward and share that story. And we do it not just because of all we've accomplished, because we do it for legacy. It's a dangerous time for story because there's so many people who don't want everybody's story to be told. It's a dangerous time for story because not everybody's story needs to have the same light. It's a dangerous time for story because others want to tell us that our stories don't matter. And they want to make sure that no one knows our story. So it's time for us to step forward. If that woman were here today, sitting in the audience, and she would pull me aside, she goes, any closer to answering that question? What's your story?